Well, good morning. Just like we do with the choir every time, let's start with a breath. And one more. And third time through, we'll inhale. And a big sigh. Just loosens everything up and gets everything moving. So good morning and welcome. I'm so glad you're all here with us on Sunday morning at Mountain Vista UU.
Welcome to Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist. I'm Reverend Matthew.
And I'm Robin Bousell. We hope today is a joyful one for you.
It's joyful being here with you here in the sanctuary, with all of you watching at home, or perhaps even those of you who are watching this as a recording sometime in the future. Wherever and whenever you are, we welcome you into our over 36-year history. We've been many places and many programs and even many people in becoming who we are today. Our greeting has always been, come as you are, whoever you are welcome here. But nowadays, we add a little bit of an invitation to engage love and transform the future.
Reverend Alex Klingberg names our invitation this way: create something new. A pattern, a recipe, a story, a poem. Plant a seed, be metaphorical. Now is not the time to be boring. Get inventive, get bold, get weird and outlandish, get uncomfortably vulnerable. Construct a new status quo. Figure out your deepest, wildest, most expansive dreams for the world and write them down, build them up. Begin, conceive, create, birth, open. If ever there was a time for you to become who you always dreamed you could be, it is now, when the rules are soft and edges are blurred and the world is blinking into an uncertain future. Be the future that comes into sharp focus. Tell the truth, the absolute truth. Spare none of the details. The only way through this is mutually assured creation.
And so, welcome. Here, where the future is, well, to pluck a word from Reverend Alex, the future is weird. Weird in that Shakespearean sense that the future is destined to happen. The world will turn, the sun will set and rise again, tomorrow will come. The future is. But also in the sense that the future is weird, that it is becoming something new. Something oddly unknown, strangely unprecedented. The future is weird. Because the future, if it doesn't change, then we're fated to repeat all that's happening today.
So we gather here, people of different beliefs and backgrounds, to boldly imagine a tomorrow much, much weirder than today. To engage with our curiosity, our imaginations, and our deepest, wildest, and most expansive dreams, to create something new of ourselves and of our tomorrow.
We are here to love.
To love the hell out of the world.
Meaning that we don't turn away from the malice and the cruelty building and blowing around us. We don't leave behind our growing grief and sorrow. We bring our suffering here with us. And with love as our guide, we share in healing and comfort and joy. We're here to transform our future. Here, in lands called the Sonoran Desert, unceded land of the Thana Otham and the Pasquayaki nations. It's a place we also share as a home. And it's our wish to do more than just acknowledge the present of this land. We seek to join with its people to be part of the future. And so elders in our congregation, Sally and Hobie and Bill, with the help of some of our youngers, are reaching out to establish connections with Thana Otham leaders to grow a relationship and so transform our future.
We are also here creating programs so that you are known for who you are. Share with others what is most important to you and make space for you to become who you always dreamed you could be. To the many committees and leaders, facilitators, and participants that bring our congregation together to transform our future, thank you.
Today we are led by the welcomers who greeted you, our audiovisual squad behind the scenes, our hospitality that's making sure there's something for you after the service to gather and to talk with one another, and our religious exploration committee that's currently working with our children, as well as individual leaders like Chris, our music director, Sally from pastoral care, Joel, our song leader, and for the very first time this church year, our choir. Thank you all. It takes our whole congregation, our combined time and talent and treasure to make Mountain Vista,
You all right?
Yeah, our spiritual home.
This is a house for humanists, pagans, Christians, Hindus, Jews, Buddhists, Taoists, and more.
We are atheists, agnostics, and theists.
We are scientists and mystics.
In a word, we are Unitarian Universalists.
That's 2 words.
Okay, but if you look around this room, then you'll see what I mean. And Vince, if you would, just scan it for everybody. Because we are those who craft new patterns. We cook new recipes. We tell new stories. We write new poems. We are inventive, bold, and we are weird. To badly paraphrase Margaret Mead, never doubt that a small group of weird people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. So welcome, welcome, welcome to Mountain Vista.
It is good to be together.
Let us worship.
Standing and singing in our hymnal, number 361, or as always, words will be on the screen. Enter, rejoice, and come in. I know there's also a couple of hymnals right there, and if somebody wants to grab, here's my copy, just bring it back to me.
It's gonna be a weird day.
361. 361. Here you are. I was going to say, usually you're singing a whole lot better than that, especially in a song like this. I mean, I'm not saying you should come to choir practice, but you could. Let's try that again. 361, 361. Start over with verse 1, and... Verse 3. Verse 4 at the bottom of the page. Verse 5.
That wasn't quite the weird we were talking about. Thank you to everyone, though, who made that work. I've heard it said that gratitude takes the place of fear in our hearts. And I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know from experience that fear can freeze my heart stone cold, and gratitude always warms it. So each Sunday we take two collections, one in a wooden bowl and another in a woven basket. The bowl is for your donations for the work of our congregation. And the basket is for our gratitude to an organization bringing that joy and comfort and healing into our community and into our world. through the month of September, our woven basket has been for interfaith community services. We've heard over the weeks about their mission to assist those in need with various programs, their food bank, rides for elders, tax services, job assistance, even a single mom scholarships, so that individuals and families can reach for, achieve sustainability, and thrive here in our part of the Sonoran Desert. You've also heard and had a wonderful offer from Tom, who volunteers with them to ride along, to experience what it's like to go out and to be a part of interfaith community services. Our congregation has long been a member supporting interfaith community services, and they have in turn supported us. They've brought us the workshop Compassionate Care with Healthy Boundaries for our caregivers and our families. They've assisted individuals here in our congregation with their direct aid and their services. And so I'm grateful for Interfaith Community Services, for all it's done for our congregation and for our community at large. And I invite you to join with me then at the end of the service. As you make your way into a time of fellowship, you'll find the woven basket and the wooden bowl. And if you can afford to, put something into the basket or the bowl, knowing, always knowing, that anything and everything that you give is gratefully received.
Excellent. In the tragedy of Macbeth, William Shakespeare cast the fates as the three weird sisters, three witches as oracles of the future, who can hold microphones and turn pages at the same time. All right. In this time, witches were believed to be foul, evil things, to be feared and hunted down. Today, Wicked, the story, musical, and 2 movies, is awakening many to what Unitarian Universalists have long known regarding witches. What is fair is foul, and foul is fair. As we engage, love, and transform a new and weird future, we would reclaim the lost wisdom and healing lore of wise elders and redeem the voices of the weird sisters for our chalice lighting.
Thrice the brinded cat has mewed, and thrice again the world has turned away from the green medicines of earth.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined, while wise women and healers were named witches, their knowing turned to fear, their cauldrons to crime.
By the pricking of our thumbs, something wondrous this way comes. The future, weird and strangely healing.
Round about the chalice go, in the sacred flame we throw old stories of danger and shame.
Let the fire burn and cauldron bubble. Let the light reveal that what was called trouble can be the beginning of wholeness.
For the earth still offers her medicines, for hearts still seek their mending.
Double, double, not toil and trouble, but wisdom and wonder, fire burn and chalice bubble.
Thank you. I invite you to a time of contemplation, of considering and pondering. After that, witch hunts. The first performance of Macbeth in the Globe Theatre coincided with the conclusion of an 80-year cycle of persecuting and executing wise elders named witches in England. From 1560 to 1620, there was a ramping up and then a peak, an eventual calming down of accusing them, mostly women, in ecclesiastical courts. Tragically, this was far from the first or last cycle of witch hunts in Europe or here in America. Those who held wisdom, the healing and medicine practices have been subjected to persecution throughout much of Western history. Estimates of those accused and killed vary greatly, from 9 million to 60,000, but regardless, the suffering and the loss is profound. Compiling the work of dozens of scholars, Michael Shermer, as a social scientist and editor of Skeptic magazine, summarizes that witch hunts are based on a feedback loop persistent throughout our human history. In Why People Believe Weird Things, he writes, theological imaginings, ecclesiastical power, scapegoating, the decline of magic, the rise of formal religion, interpersonal conflict, misogyny, gender politics, and possibly even psychedelic drugs were, to a lesser and greater degrees, components of this feedback loop. These are simply hallmarks of human beings responding to changing social boundaries. Because when they begin to drift, the potential becomes great for cruel and malicious feedback loops to begin again and again and again. It starts when people on the margins are accused of being dangerous to society at large. The accusation alone is proof of guilt, and denial is regarded as even further proof. Claims of being victims of those accused start to mount. And at the peak of the craze, everyone becomes a suspect. And then the accused innocent begin to fight back legally and in the court of public opinion. Accusations start to be proven false. Accusers are held responsible, and the public interest begins to wane. And yet each craze concludes with lives destroyed, great knowledge and wisdom lost. It might be our history, but does it sound or feel familiar today? Perhaps in the 1950s, McCarthy-era witch hunts for communists in the government and entertainment industry. Perhaps in the war on drugs, with its severe and unbalanced policies and rhetoric targeting people of color, the poor, and counterculture. Perhaps it feels similar in recent years, as the religious right has targeted transgender adults and youth. Perhaps the targeting of immigrants, individuals for speaking truth to power, or whole communities of migrants like the Haitians or Venezuelans. Or perhaps you felt it last Thursday when the Trump administration directed its most powerful agencies to investigate liberal nonprofits as domestic terrorists. Malice, intentional cruelty, unnecessary suffering, witch hunts. It's a lot. And I don't know about you, but I feel it in my nervous system. It's like a noisy chime, jangling my anxiety. A fearful cacophony that starts to make it really hard to think. And among those discordant notes, I feel like fighting or fleeing or freezing. Perhaps it's just me. But I also feel there's an intentionality here, a stirring up of witch hunt after witch hunt by some plan or playbook by those who, like Michael Shermer, his intentions good, have researched how we can be manipulated by our all too human tendencies. We are here to engage, love, and transform, but how against that? How do we do that against this plan? And perhaps, even more importantly, how can we not? We take the increase of witch hunts that we see and we feel as a sign that the boundaries of our society are changing right now, globally and environmentally, economically, socially, culturally. The rules are soft and the edges are blurred, and the world is blinking into an uncertain future. It's a time of beginnings and endings, of conceiving innovation and abandoning the status quo. It's a time of birth and a time of death, of openings and of closings. And the way through is our mutually assured creation. And the truth is, the absolute truth is, that here at MBUU, we are prepared. It may not feel like it. Individually, it may not feel as if there is anything that we can do, but I must tell you, we are prepared. With love as our guide, we are already protesting in the streets. We are already directly assisting those who are accused. We are drafting demands to secure the rights of those targeted, and we are building cultural and interfaith relationships for the future. These, and not witch hunts, are the means and methods of lasting and meaningful social change. And it means we are engaging, and we are loving, and we are transforming with them. We are creating something new. And it might be weird. In fact, so may it be weird, because we do need something different from all this destruction in our world today. And so may we perceive our time, this time that we are living through, for what it is. May we know it. May we feel it. And may we come together here through these hard times, sharing our joy and our comfort and our healing. May we know that we are already engaging, loving, and transforming a new and weird future into being because we choose it. May it be so.
I'd like to invite you now into a time of meditation. Get comfortable in your chair, uncross your legs, relax your shoulders, close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and join me on a weird little journey. Attention, caterpillars. We are currently enduring a particularly difficult part of our journey. Things are breaking down. Old structures are dissolving. This may feel like unraveling, because it is. Please, do not panic. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. You can do this. Your muscles ache as they shift and change. Cells pull apart, reform, collide. It hurts to lose the body you knew. It hurts to press against the walls that will not open yet. And yes, everything is becoming goo. Please remain calm while your world liquefies. Breathe through the goo. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. You're doing great. As we continue this transition, make room for the ache. Soften your grip of fear. It will not serve your new formation. The nervous system may be signaling fight, flight, freeze, despair. Stay. Breathe. Trust. Your wings are crumpled, fragile, untested. They stretch, they sting. The shell resists. This is not failure. This is strength being forged. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. The light is coming. Wherever you are in your transformation, still dissolving, pressing against the shell, or with wings just beginning to unfold and dry, you are working through the goo. You are becoming the next version of yourself, even as the future remains unseen, uncertain, and strange. The future is weird, and within the weird, there is wonder. And through it all, there is love inviting us forward. So, keep breathing.
I didn't have any idea that they were going to do a bit of Shakespeare adapted at the beginning, for I have chosen a song that is in the exact era of Shakespeare. Dowland's "Come Again, Sweet Love, doth now invite," 1597. And over the course of 6 verses, it talks about a young man falls in love and a young woman does not. And so in the first verse, he's all aflutter with her, and in the last verse, he sighs and cries and moans to Cupid that he should draw forth his wounding dart because I express all these passions and she just laughs at me. Y'all gonna? We have a lovely, lovely version of this set up for choir, and we're also introducing 2 instruments to it. The one Alex has is one of the oldest kinds of instruments, a recorder, simple end-blown flute. And the one David has is one of the newest varieties of instruments. It's an iwi, or an electronic wind instrument, that actually plays a lot the same way, but instead of the sound source being the wind that he breathes into it, the sound source is the electronic instrument, the computer behind it. If you ask him very nicely, I'm sure he'd love to tell you all more about it after the service. John Dowland's from 1597, about 10 years before Macbeth. Come again, sweet love. And let's all breathe.
Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. And the selfsame well from which your laughter arises was oftentimes filled with your tears. How else can it be?
The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And is it not the lute that soothes your spirit, the very wood that was hollowed with knives?
When you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. And when you are sorrowful, look again into your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight.
Some of you say, joy is greater than sorrow. And others say, nay, sorrow is the greater. But I say unto you, they are inseparable.
Together they come.
And when one sits alone with you at your board,
Remember that the other is asleep upon your bed.
we celebrate and comfort one another in our joys and sorrows. We gather water from Sonoran skies, from the taps in our homes, from the springs in the ground, to pour out. This is our gathering. We gather stones as containers for joy and sorrow. They have the strength of the earth and the wisdom of the earth. They are our Mother Earth. When given permission, we name the joys and sorrows among us, and I do not have any to report today. We know that there are joys yet unnamed. And sorrows which are not yet ready to be given voice. This is our wholeness of joy and sorrow. This is our healing.
Leading us in our celebration and comfort is our pastoral care committee. We know you are coming with inseparable joy and sorrow. And each of us is here to listen, and if you wish, to share your joy or sorrow on a Sunday morning. But we also respond by leading our congregation to celebrate alongside you or to meet you where you are with our comfort. None of you, none of us need not leave any part of us behind or seek afar off. Be who you are, here and now, and be home among these people. In this community, in this way, we find healing.
Our song to support joys and sorrows, Linda Hirshhorn, wonderful composer. We've sung a number of her songs, including this one, In These Hard Times. There will always be singing, there will always be dancing, no matter how hard the times get. The human spirit will go on. 4 verses, different words each time. The words will be on the screen. And let's sing together.
In these hard times there will always be singing, always be singing in these hard times. In singing, always be singing in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be dancing, always be dancing in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be dancing, always be dancing in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be laughing, always be laughing in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be laughing, always be laughing in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be healing, always be healing in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be healing, always be healing in these hard times.
I need to hear it one more time. There will always be singing. And let's do it. Singing and...
In these hard times, there will always be singing, always be singing in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be singing, always be singing in these hard times.
Reverend Matthew received 25 responses to our congregational survey about altered states of consciousness, mystical experiences, and healing. Thank you. The results were a study in halves. Half of the responses were from those 75 to 95. Half were from women. Half had experienced an altered state of consciousness through psychedelics. Half had mystical experiences that brought them a sense of unity with all things, profound awe, and or a deep peace and calm. Each person named what was healing to them. We offer their words so you might hear our congregation members and friends name something familiar to you and perhaps something different from what you know about healing. Healing is recovery from physical injury or illness, not asking for a cure, yet receiving peace and calm, knowing that all is well right now. I am whole, lacking nothing, a spiritual idea of God, which is love, life, truth, divine mind. Body or mind or spirit recalibrated to natal harmonious homeostasis. Feeling emotionally calm. Becoming better, improving, evolving. Confronting parts of the self or collective that have not been adequately addressed, and then, through integration, find ways to make meaningful and lasting changes in a way that supports one's body, mind, and spirituality. An acceptance of self. A shift towards mental, physical, social, and cognitive well-being that is not dependent on the presence or absence of illness. Going from unwell to well. A person is at their optimum harmony of body and mind. Physical, mental, or spiritual return to harmony. Moving from angst to calm. Coming to a feeling of peace about my fears. The dilution of my ego structure, recalling traumatic experiences with the same detail, but the emotional component just doesn't have the same hook that it did. Releasing or easing of physical and or emotional pain. The process that leads to the end of suffering, although it might not be the end of an illness. Feeling more positive about something. The absence of pain, emotional or physical. Being free from worry about my body, surroundings, relationships. Correcting a problem within. Figuring out what's broken and resolving it in some way. Coping and understanding how to manage or overcome an injury or a dilemma. So analysis of a language model suggests that as a whole, these descriptions point to healing as a journey toward inner peace and resilient well-being, where wholeness is felt even when illness or imperfection remains.
So I have been called to a ministry with Entheogens. And that is the second weirdest thing that I have to tell you. I'll get to the first in a minute. The ministry is weird for me because I have had no experience with entheogens. It's not even a word that I knew the meaning of before the start of this year. Entheogens are the plants and fungi long used in spiritual traditions across the globe and time, which invite altered states, mystical experiences, and healing. And I thought that they were just psychedelics. And I had thought that my future was clear, that tomorrow was certain. And then things got weird. And weird not some other place, but weird right here with you. Weird in the sense that I have been called to create something new, something oddly unknown to me, something strangely unprecedented, but I'm not going anywhere. It began exactly 1 year ago at a retreat with other Unitarian Universalist ministers when I learned that some of my colleagues had studied and were active in a ministry using psychedelics. Our ministers' chapter had invited those colleagues to come and to teach us about their ministry in an upcoming February in-service. I'd missed the meeting. I was off goofing around. And I missed the discussion, and so when I heard about it, my first thought was, isn't that illegal? And my second was an image of an egg sizzling in a frying pan, because I was raised in the 80s. And during those commercial breaks on Saturday mornings between the cartoons, I was taught that's what happens to your brain on drugs. And so, despite not understanding it at all, not even feeling at ease with it, I still trusted my colleagues because I'm in covenant with them, just as we are in covenant with one another. And we've agreed that we will respect one another and we will ask questions with an open mind. Some years ago, I had an opportunity to hear Michael Shermer speak at MIT, and his message was, when you don't understand something, be skeptical. Use critical thinking, science, and find some answers. And so skeptically and in covenant, I was curious. So I read, and I did some research online. Psychedelics are classified as Schedule I drugs here in the United States, and this designates them as having absolutely no medical use and being high risk for abuse. And due to several treaties and decades-long war on drugs, this means that they are prohibited pretty much everywhere on the planet. And yet, as I researched, I found that this designation is not backed up by science. Well before and well after psychedelics such as mescaline, psilocybin, and DMT, because I cannot pronounce the long name of the scientific molecule. Before they were all designated as Schedule I, there have been decades of deep and profound clinical and medical trials finding them to be extraordinarily effective in treating anxiety and stress and eating disorders and addictions and post-traumatic stress disorder and treatment-resistant depression and schizophrenia, and assisting individuals with terminal diagnoses in finding peace in dying. The active molecules in these substances make neurological connections between parts of the human brain which allow for relief, rejuvenation, and reset to mental health in many, but not all, individuals. And that's where my curiosity deepened as a pastor accompanying many over decades through years of suffering with no relief available to them. I was learning about the possibility of healing. And so I investigated further. And despite our government's disinterest in reclassifying psychedelics, big pharmaceuticals, big surprise, have taken this evidence and run with it, or at least they've tried to. Despite considerable time and a boatload of money, the active molecules for mental health could not be separated from the altered states and mystical experience that these substances provide. Science could not separate out the spiritual. And it was at that point that I discovered that Starr King School for the Ministry, one of our Unitarian Universalist seminaries, was offering a certificate in psychedelic justice and companioning. They have a whole series of free online lectures, and through them I learned that my colleagues were seeking a ministry that first and foremost was about justice, studying the methods to decriminalize these substances that offered health to those who were suffering. And second, it was learning new ministry techniques to companion individuals through their deep spiritual experiences. And so I had my answer to those early questions, and yet something about this, something about it I couldn't let go. There was something more, something beyond just curiosity, and I felt it was calling me. And so with the help of two different spiritual directors, discerning with family and friends, the staff and faculty at Starr King, and dialogue with many clergy of many faiths, I realized that I was called to a ministry of justice and companioning with entheogens. It sounds weird just saying that out loud. And if that sounds strange or weird to you, imagine how it feels to me, because it doesn't even still fit into my framework and my understanding of myself. But still, I can't let it go. And so after 30 years of being out of school, I enrolled in Star King's certificate program in January of this year. I've been graced with knowledgeable professors, generous classmates, and a whole world of things I never imagined. I've learned that those Schedule I psychedelics, mescaline, psilocybin, and DMT are actually peyote and magic mushrooms and ayahuasca. They're naturally occurring plants and fungi which have been a part of indigenous spiritual traditions continuously for centuries. Oh, I learned that colonialism has attempted to destroy those traditions and to replace them with nothing. And in some cases, that's been a success. But I've also learned that these substances have been renamed entheogens, a word coined in 1987 from the ancient Greek to mean the divine within. Entheogens have long been used in human culture, in ancient cultures in Crete and Egypt and in Greece. And they directly inspired the ancients to new philosophies, to art and technology and new ways of being together, like democracy. Until witch hunts dismantled and destroyed their rituals and their knowledge and their lore of healing. I learned that entheogens are not fried eggs in a pan, but there are drugs that are dangerous, things that are addictive. And so today I'm a student learning the methods to decriminalize entheogens with the ins and outs of municipal policy, which it turns out is highly useful when you're looking to support the rights of lesbian and gay and transgender people. We'll be telling you more about a resolution for the Tucson City Council soon. And I'm an initiate, experiencing the methods of accompaniment first by setting clear intentions, appropriate context, personal mindset, and safe setting, and second, by integration and developing new spiritual experiences after spiritual experiences so that lasting transformation comes about. And I am your minister. My call to ministry over 30 years ago came to me in a mystical vision, unaided by substances, and I witnessing myself serving a people of all ages and stages of life, of beginnings and endings, conceiving new ways of being together and abandoning what no longer serves us, of being with a people through times of birth and of death, of opening to love and to closing off of hate, and that has not changed. Somehow, it isn't clear to me just yet, my call to ministry within Entheogens is part of that call to serve as your minister here at Mountain Vista. I'm sure that we will figure it out together. And this is still the second weirdest thing that I want to tell you. The first and primary weirdest thing is this: we can be healed. We can be healed. In these hard times, we can be healed. For some, it will be mental health through the therapeutic and clinical use of psychedelics, and for others, it will be a spiritual healing using entheogens in spiritual practices with people who know what they're doing. But for all of us, with or without these substances, spiritual healing is possible. And I know this not because I'm a student or an initiate, but because I'm your minister, and that's what you have told me. In each individual's response to our survey, it is clear healing isn't a cure. It's our journey to peace and resilience despite illness and brokenness, even despite ongoing suffering. It is wholeness. It's resilience in the face of all of it. And it's possible. Healing is possible. Do you doubt it? Good. Are you skeptical? Great. Because let's engage it together. With our minds and our hearts and spirit, let's discover how to heal the grief of our world so that it's balanced with our joy. Let's love the hell out of our lives, the lives of those who are targeted by the malice, and then let's prove that we really know how this works and love the hell out of those who accuse and persecute people with their plans and their playbooks. Let's take it on the road. Let's transform ourselves with spiritual practices of healing and then transform the world. And if that sounds weird, then I hope and pray that we get weird. Because the future is weird. It is certain to come, and we need it to be a new creation, unpredictable, unprecedented, and unlike anything that we know today. And so may it be weird in all of our days to come.
In our teal hymnal, Singing the Journey, also on the screen, but in the hymnal 1054, I almost want to call him friend of the congregation, Jim Scott's song, Let This Be a House of Peace. And yes, let us stand as we see fit and as we can, as we are able to sing together. 1054, Let This Be a House of Peace.
Of sorrow and elation, let this be our house, a haven for the healing, an open room for question and all inspiration. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of freedom, guardian of dignity and worth held deep inside us. Let this be our house, a platform for the free voice, where all our sacred differences shall not divide us. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. Let all in this house seek truth, where scientists and mystics abide in reverence here. Let this be our house, a house of our creation, where works of art and melodies consecrate the atmosphere. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be our house. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of prophecy. May vision for children be your common theme. Let this be a house of myth and lore and legend, our trove of ancient story and cradle of our tender dreams. Let this be a house of
Let this be our house of peace.
Let this be a house of
Let this be our house of
Let this be a house of
Let this be our house of
house of
Let this be our house of peace.
The future is. It's happening. And we want to keep you informed about the many opportunities that for you to get involved in the transformative moments and transforming actions of love, such as the Humane Society. Now, through this month and the following, the interests of our children have collected a number of donations for the Humane Society. Next month, we will deliver all the donations and also be helping to pack food for their pet food pantry program. Thank you for your donations and for helping our pets in need by joining us. I can read, for our service project. Please talk with Miss Stacy, our coordinator of religious exploration, for more details. Finding Hearts. Our Finding Hearts honchos are thrilled to announce season 1 of our small group ministries. Elder Tales, fairy tales for adults. Reverend Matthew welcomes 12 people to meet at MVUU for 4 sessions starting Thursday, October 23rd at 6 p.m. Show and Tell. Facilitator Joan Sorensen gathers 8 people here at our church Wednesdays at 5 p.m. starting October 15th. Science and Spirit. Tom Sawyer and Alice Hutchinson start their small group of 8 on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. here at MVUU on October 29th. Explore the Poet Within. Ann Bowling and Alice Hutchinson will be meeting in individual homes for their small group of 8 Fridays at 10 a.m. starting on Halloween, October 31st. Now, you can find more detailed descriptions about each group in our newsletter. We've passed on an incorrect phone number for Alice in Friday's newsletter. Sorry about that. But you can reach her using our online directory or contacting our office for her personal information. Now, starting on September 30th, you can connect with Alice to sign up for the small group ministries of your choosing. Renew UU. Reverend Matthew invites longtime participants and folks new to MVUU to join today for Renew UU sessions. These are your opportunity to learn more about our Unitarian Universalist faith and deepen your belonging to our congregation. In an open discussion format crafted from your questions and interests, he'll be talking about our covenant on September 28th, today. Why each of us is at MVUU on October 5th, and how our MVU institution functions on October 12th. Now, these are excellent opportunities to explore becoming a member of our congregation, and at the next new member ceremony on Sunday, October 19th.
Speaking of weird things,
Hey.
come and do something weird. Come and try singing in choir. If you haven't sung since school, or if you've never sung in a choir, now is the perfect time and opportunity to do so. We meet here Wednesday evenings at 6:30. You join all these wonderful people and a whole bunch more people who are still kind of semi on vacation. We'll get them back one of these weeks. You know how that goes. It's still Tucson. It's still warm outside. It's okay. Wednesday evenings at 6:30, and believe me, the more people we have up here, the easier it is, because nobody has to sing a solo, unless, of course, they want to. That's a whole different thing. But if you've ever thought about singing, if you've ever thought it might be fun to give it a try, step outside your comfort zone, like speaking in front of groups of people like this. Step outside your comfort zone, do something weird, and come and sing. Wednesday evenings at 6:30, right here, we rehearse, we laugh, we sing, we have a good time, and I hope to see more and more of you here to join us.
One more. Now, the MVUU Grief Group meets Sundays in the early afternoon after services. We actually meet upstairs in the loft, and Terry Pulowski and Ann Bowling facilitate each session, inviting all who come to speak and listen. Climb the stairs or ride our lift chair to the loft on our second floor after you meet and greet one another during fellowship. And now I need my coven back.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? Not a weapon, but a question. How will we choose the weird path ahead?
Hell is murky, not beneath us, but it is all around us whenever cruelty passes for order. Let this light cut through the smog of our times and warm us back to our vows.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow may creep in petty pace unless we dare to dream it otherwise.
Out, out, brief candle, but not in despair. This weird and wondrous light lives on in us to heal what has been broken.
Go forth and never doubt that a small group of weird people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has.